I think that corporations and to a less degree, World Bank and IMF have a stakehold in South African wealth. And I think that a lot of corporations that are there that control the mining and everything, they're actually there because they like the corruption, because now they're siphoning the money out. Now, private investors may not want to come to South Africa because of the corruption, but it doesn't matter because most of South Africa's money is going to Anglo mining and also to the Guptas and other people in South Africa who represent transnational corporations. So I'm taking the opposite view of you is that South Africa attracts, it doesn't need to attract investors because it's South African land is held by British,
white people,
Belgian, and German
Australians,
and Australian entities. So what's happening now is that because those entities are taking in the yield, this is farming, this is like farming. The yield from the land is going out of the country so that now there's no money for investment in infrastructure and service delivery. That's my point. What do you think? Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. Since a good number of this capital is being flighted, to
Out.
foreign
Yeah.
countries. So
It's worse than
really,
brain drain. It's not brain drain, it's money drain.
and it's so sad because they're doing it in connivance with the corrupt regime in South Africa. And it's the poor
Yeah.
people that are suffering. Same thing in South Africa too. The connivance of some of these external, powers in trying to see what it is they can loot from the commonwealth of the people is affecting the peasants and the local residents of the country. And as long as the regimes remain corrupt, there is really going to be no fix anytime soon, especially in a country like South Africa.
South Africa has a problem, like you mentioned, because they need to figure out where the control of the resources is going to come from. The only answer in South Africa at the grassroots level, people who live in villages, who live on farms, also people who live in the cities, people who live in the suburbs have to be one.
Yes.
It starts with the blacks.
It's if like the local government.
If the whites don't want to be part of it, yeah. If the whites don't want to be part of a socialist movement in South Africa, they can go to hell. When I say they can go to hell, it doesn't mean they'll be kicked out. It means ignore those guys. Yeah. And the black people in South Africa and the colored people and the poor people need to come together and need to have a socialism. Here's what I mean by socialism. South African land, South African mining resources, South African agriculture. The revenue from it needs to shift from 70% leaving the country to 70% being in the country, providing even the whites who don't want socialism in South Africa, they will also be helped, whether they like it or not. But South Africa is not going to be a Western chattel anymore.